Aloha. The breath of life. Thank you so much. I have met some of you, but not all of you. My name is Ileina Ferrier. I'm a master trainer with Dr. Lam and Tai Chi for Health Institute, like yourself. And I've been a master trainer for about, well, I was, 14 years. Oh, and that one hurt. 14 years. I left off at 10, but I guess it is 14, Betty. All right. Today, coming together for the future. What does that mean to us? What does this mean in respect to our national representation as a popular evidence-based protocol to meet the needs of fall prevention? And I should also mention as a side that fall prevention does not discriminate. It does not just happen in the United States. It happens all over the world, so this chat may impact them as well. I am your representative to the National Council on Aging, as well as to represent the requirements for, or to liaison with the Tai Chi for Health Institute and Dr. Lam, and maintaining Dr. Lam's vision. So let me ask you, how many of you are familiar with the National Council on Aging? Oh, nice. Okay, I can go home and have tea. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, they have been a real force for us. For those of you that aren't familiar with the National Council on Aging, they are not a funding body. They work, the funds come from the major arm of the government called the Administration for Community Living. From then, it goes down to the CDC, and then it becomes very confusing. It's a maze when it comes to how the funding is distributed. It's so many different levels. But then it comes down to the National Council on Aging, who touches every part of the aging adult community. If you haven't been online, please go to ncoa.org, and it's got a wealth of information. As well, we are listed on there as one of the 3 Tai Chi evidence-based protocols. I'm happy to report to you that as of the last few years, Tai Chi for Health programs, or Tai Chi for Arthritis and Fall Prevention, makes up 80 to 85% of the task force attendance and grants. And it has grown over the years. And in no small part, it is due to the compassion of all of you. A little closer? Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, this is why I do Aloha, to see how you can hear me. So is this better? Yes. I don't have to start again, do I? No, okay, all righty. So yeah, the big takeaway is that we are 80 to 85% of the Tai Chi task force attendance. And that is in no small part due to all of your compassion and teaching and caring to keep our program safe. Another strong part is that the implementation and the ongoing educational support that has been created through training, online training, SIP, skills training, workshops, and if you haven't had the opportunity to join the forum, please do once a month. It's a great opportunity. It is a rare opportunity that happens with evidence-based protocols to have this opportunity to touch base with other master trainers, other colleagues, and Dr. Lam. Please do so, have a peek in. I found over the years that most at my level with the NCOA task force, we deal with the administrators, not so much with the instructors. The administrators who are responsible to receiving the grants and keeping the fidelity of the grant, the protocols that we are taught to make sure that they are intact. And I'm happy to say that we are working together now, and again, in no small part due to the COVID situation. There is less competition, and yet we are all focused. We realize that we have a common denominator. We want to make sure that we are getting Tai Chi out to all of our people, all the public. I no longer feel a competitive spirit that's in the task force meetings, which I did in the beginning, because funding was, as we know, funding was very scarce and very competitive. Even though I knew that we were a very popular evidence-based protocol, you never take that for granted. You're very grateful. At one time, all the 3 task force were, all the 3 evidence-based protocols were in the same meeting, and I found that to be very anti-productive, to really listen to the needs of our administrators, our grantees, to ensure the best for all of you to do what you do well in sharing Tai Chi. So it has evolved over to doing a quarterly meeting with just TCAFP grantees. So that has brought together more productivity in what reaches you. One big area that we are dealing with, and this affects the entire NCOA base as it relates to evidence, all evidence-based protocols, even bingo. We are working together. We're listening and trying to put out the best as far as training goes. They do not take fidelity for granted. So I am so grateful for this, to see that we are working together with the grantees as well as TCHI. We do not have the manpower to go out and monitor every month. So the agencies now do not be surprised to see that they are monitoring over a month, 2-week to a 1-month period to make sure that the instructor is delivering the fidelity of the program, as well as, is there anything we can do to help? What is happening to you on the field? So it really is a great opportunity. We are working closer with other evidence-based protocols, such as moving for better balance, and you're familiar with that if you're with AAA, right? So it's an 8-week program, and for population that are just, they don't leave their homes, they transition over TCAFP. They'll start with the seated and then progress on to the standing, and that has really gone very well, so thank you so much. COVID has a lot of negative implications, but let's look on the bright side. Let's look at the bright side, because there's always two faces to any situation. On the bright side, we're reaching further into areas where there were no classes, thanks to virtual, if you really think about that. The homebound who are unable to leave, they can now attend classes. Those that have no available transportation, and those that are unable to leave the safety of their home because of, say, a mental health issue, they are now able to do Tai Chi, which is wonderful. So we are evolving. Once again, the fidelity of the programs, agencies are taking strides, even for those students that we are reaching out on a virtual level to ensure the same fidelity of the program so that we have wonderful outcomes. Master trainers and instructors are improving their skill sets as we focus on virtual training, and how do we make for a personable experience in this virtual environment? How do we achieve an inclusive environment where everyone feels involved and they are a person and not just a face on the screen? How do we do that? And I'm happy to say that the master trainers are so innovative. The week isn't over yet. You'll see how innovative they are. And working together to make for a safe environment and to represent our vision. Thank you, Dr. Lamb, so much for that. So once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for your compassion and humbleness in representing TCHI and Dr. Lamb's vision in this very evolving world. Thank you.